Everybody, welcome back to the Healthy Living Scottsdale Podcast. I am your host, Coach Adam. I'm here today with Director Jolie and Coach Terra. Going to get a little bit into how to maximize your time here in the gym in your hour-ish, maybe a little bit more session. But first, as always, we are going to give some props out to Client of the Week this week. And this week, we are going with Naraja Patel. And she is both a morning and afternoon person. She's a great example of integrating lifestyle into integrating fitness into her lifestyle. Wow, integrating English courses into your daily course. So she is both morning and afternoons, and part of the reason why we chose her is we're now in a hypertrophy phase, and she's also a great example of somebody who knows how to push herself appropriately. And with a good method and progressive overload and all of that, and she's kind of the epitome of that. You guys have any more on Naraja? She's great.
She's always working on her. She's consistent.
Very.
Yeah, super quick turnaround time. Sometimes it's like an evening workout followed by a morning workout. She's always locking it in, just like you said, progressive overload. Yeah.
Tara.
Y'all said it all.
Just gonna bring Naraja in here. Just talk about herself.
Just talk about it.
No, but she's great. Shout out to her, and I think we'll be seeing her this afternoon. So crushing it. So we're gonna get into today's topic, talking about how to maximize your time in the gym. Of course, here we book 1 hour sessions. That's not to say that you can't, of course, come in a little bit earlier than that or stay a little bit afterwards, because we have a little bit of an open gym policy. There's your hour when you are blocked off to work with a coach, but if you want to get additional stuff in before or after the fact, there's plenty of space here to do so, and you can kind of create your own routine there if you'd like. So this kind of came about. We actually had a discussion with a member a little bit, kind of weighing, I guess, the pros and cons and he started comparing essentially how we structure our workouts and kind of the ideology behind it, and started comparing it to a little bit more of a big box gym where similar classes and things like that were offered to him, and really was having like an internal conversation with himself before approaching us with it, kind of weighing his options. So let's get a little bit into, I don't know, Jolie, how do you want to start this? You want to start with why we would encourage somebody maybe to continue or lean our direction as opposed to some of these classes that are very much get in, sweat, feel like you got crushed, sometimes a little misleading as far as how much work gets done in these classes, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it all starts with the mindset of like, if I can do more, if I can sweat more, then more is better, right? When in all actuality, just being better is better, right? We're talking about maximizing your time in the gym. We're going into like that rate of perceived exertion, right? If you're working out in a class where maybe you're doing something that's 45 seconds and they're not giving you any sort of rep range to follow, they're not telling you what weights to use, everyone is doing the exact same movement, you're trying to keep up with everybody, and you're gonna sweat and you're gonna work really, really hard to try and keep up with everybody, but maybe your form isn't the best, or maybe 6 of those reps are actually quality reps where you're challenging yourself, and the rest are maybe feeling a little bit easy, but you got the music super loud and everything's pumping, and I feel like I'm just going on a rampage right now with all of it, but
sensory overload, right? Like there's so much going on. Sometimes there's like 40, 50 people in these classes, and like a coach or a instructor, right, that's up at the front of the room, and their job is to keep you moving and essentially at the pace that they've designed the class to work at, which is, let's get as many people in here, sweat as much as we can in 45 minutes, and they're going to leave feeling smoked, and boom, boom, our job is done. Whatever happens outside this classroom, it's not on us. So that was a little bit of, we were trying to, again, compare and contrast the feeling that, this client was talking about when they leave these classes. And, he was saying, we do almost identical exercises, but he was feeling like he was getting more out of these, large scale group classes. What, Terra, would you kind of enforce or maybe try to encourage or reiterate to him why the structure that we follow is long-term going to be a lot more beneficial to him than, getting a quick sweat, leaving, might be tired, but what's really happening here?
So, like, for me, like, not for me, but, like, from that perspective and standpoint, like you were saying, that rate of perceived exertion, that sweat equity that people want. I want to feel like I did a workout. I want to sweat. I want to feel like out of breath. All those things that you think should follow a very high intense workout. And yeah, I get it. You want to feel like you did work.
Yeah.
But how we set things up here at Legacy is that yes, you're getting the work, but it's not to the point where you're overdoing it. Like not setting you up for that overtraining.
Yeah.
We do, as you were talking about with Naraja, having that progressive overload. How you're doing what you need to do as far as workout wise, sets, reps, weights, all those things. So your body is getting a great total workout in, but we're also highlighting and emphasizing that recovery you need in between sets, because that's just as important as just then lifting as well, or just lifting, I should say. So here we try to make sure you're getting a good quality workout in that is going to allow you to be successful and reach your goals and not just feel like I did work today.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the word that kind of just encompasses that is intention. Like, there's intention behind every movement that we do. There's intention behind our warm up. There's intention behind this exercise selection, right? There's intention behind it because our programming is very intentional, right? And this isn't to knock any coach who's creating programs for big box gyms, right? I'm sure there's some thought that goes into it, but the way that we do things here at Legacy is with thought of just, again, integrating fitness into your lifestyle, but for long-term success and maintaining functional movement patterns, things that you're going to be doing in everyday life.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about it a little bit before, maybe last week, but, when you're executing a workout, people get very fixated on the calorie burn, sometimes heart rate, which is a good thing to monitor and keep an eye on and can be used as a tool, especially when it comes to rest periods and things like that. But again, we are training and trying to intentionally, with muscle mass increase as one of our main goals and fat loss as another, we're trying to intentionally, smartly damage your muscle so that when you leave here, it comes back stronger, larger, healthier, things like that. And again, the work that your body should be doing for you away from the gym is really, I think, where the progress is made. Like, a lot of progress is made in the dark. It's not actually made in the gym. So Terra, you were talking about the recovery a little bit like that, things like that, where the pace or the RPE, the exertion that you feel when you're in a class, that's not going to determine actually what kind of benefit you got out of that 45 minutes or that hour. That's just a here and now feeling that I think people associate with, having a good, quote unquote, good workout. But again, it's really that in the dark, when you're away from the gym, a class like that is probably not going to do any work for you once you're at home, right? There was, throwing around 10, 15-pound dumbbells for 45 minutes, doing all these, what was stated as similar or the same exercises that we do here. They're not going to have the same benefit because there's not that overload. There's not the extra eyes that we provide, like with our coaches. You're not able to track your weights so that you're not just picking up that same pair of 10s or pair of 15s every single day.
Week after week.
So that's how we like to track progress and encourage people that the structure that we're running here is really the best way to go about it. There is room for freedom and some creativity as far as like the members' perspective, even here in the gym. So like we were trying to explain to this client or this member that he was so fixated on the fact that it was time efficient and it really got the heart rate going. You can get your heart rate going here. No one's telling you to move in slow motion and, spike at 120 beats per minute, which it's for those who know, during exercise is not very high. So you can use tools like these heart rate, on the watches or whatever the things are. You can use those to, sometimes or a lot of times we have mental blockages in our head that tell us, and it's almost like a misconception sometimes that, you hit a wall or like there's a fatigue level that you hit and you don't want to go beyond that because then something becomes uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But it's really finding that level of uncomfortability and moving from there. I can't believe I just said that correct. And moving from there to like really see the progress and the benefits. So I told him, I was like, if pace is something you're looking for, we're going to give you your block, right? It's usually 2 or 3 exercises. Put a timer on it. Like give yourself a mental clock. We've got a huge clock in the gym. Mm-hmm. You can see it from every angle. Use that and say, okay, I'm going to complete this set to the best of my capability, and then I'm going to rest for exactly 60 seconds. Your heart rate is not going to fully recover in 60 seconds. You're going to feel like you're getting that sweat, that same type of feeling that you were searching for or had experienced in those classes. So there's room to do that. It's just, voicing it to us like you did, and then we'll be able to give recommendations on how to increase your RP or how things can feel a little bit better for you, but still following our structure.
Right. Yeah. And in terms of maximizing your time in the gym, I think a lot of people, all of us can think of at least one person who's come up to us and said like, well, what can I be doing more outside of here? What can I do like extra core? Can I do extra like upper body? Like can I do something extra? Right. And something that I want to touch on is, right, you don't necessarily need extra workouts in addition to getting your 3, 4, 5 days a week here. We're talking about maximizing your time in the gym here, and that can be a way to do it, right, is like setting that clock, making sure that we're exerting enough energy to be putting enough intensity into our workouts to feel like we're actually working, right? Yeah. So if you want to be making progress, making sure that you're maximizing your time in the gym, you don't necessarily need to be adding workouts in, but just focus on getting the most out of the ones that you are booking and scheduling.
Not waiting for coaches to add weight.
You're right. You do not need, I tell people, you don't ask me.
You don't need my approval.
Yeah.
Don't ask me. I will let you know if I don't think it's a good idea, but it usually is. Unless, there's like some tragic form going on. But if you've been working with us long enough, probably not.
Yeah.
So we're never going to discourage that. And I mean, that's, you're essentially looking for, people don't like to be uncomfortable, but 1 out of 24 hours in the day to feel a little uncomfortable and a little, push to your limits is, not bad as far as a percentage of your day there. I think 4%. Check my math. So yeah, I mean, that's basically what we want people to take away from this. Don't underestimate recovery. And, when you're here, obviously there's a community aspect, and people come to the same hours, things like that, like to see other people talk. But finding that little area that you think can elevate your workout to get the maximum effort. Is it the weight? Is it the timing? Is it the exercise selection? Things like that. And, just cooperate and talk to your coach about it. And we'll always try to help you and find ways to have you experience that, that feeling that you're looking for. Anything else there? Topic?
Show up to your workouts.
Show up, consistency, intensity, nutrition. I think that's the holy trinity.
Intention.
Yeah.
Intention.
Walk in with intention.
We've already got it laid out for you, right? You don't have to come in and guess what you're going to do.
That's the biggest thing.
We've got it set. If you follow it and find ways to challenge yourself within what is already set for you, you will get the results that you're looking for.
Nicely
guaranteed. Said. Boom. Mic drop. We are out. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Thank you so much for listening to the Healthy Living Scottsdale Podcast. Do you have a question that you'd like for us to answer live on the podcast? If so, all you need to do is head over to the Apple Podcast app on your iPhone and do 3 simple things. First, leave us a rating and review telling me what you think of the podcast. In that review, ask anything you want related to health, fitness, or nutrition. And if you want a shout out, leave us your Instagram handle or name. That's all you have to do. Then listen to hear your questions answered live on the next Q&A episode.